Today we learn how to design this animated hero section in Figma. Make sure grab the starter file from the link in the description. This is how we do it in 3 simple steps. Open this door, step into an empty room, furnish the room, and add a clean header to the top of our website. When you open your starter file, you'll see a screen similar to what I've got open here. We have 2 components, the logo and the tagline. In the picture section, I put the photo of the furnished room, empty room, and I've also detached all the furniture in Photoshop and saved them as transparent PNG files. If you want to replace them with your own photos, just make sure to separate any elements you want to animate and save them as PNG files with a transparent background. Let's begin. I'm gonna uncheck the clip content option so you can see what we've got inside this frame. Here's what I've set up. The photo of the open door, the door itself, and right behind the open door image, I've placed the empty room photo. This setup creates the layered effect we need for the animation where the door opens and we reveal the empty room. Okay, let's undo to bring all the picture back into the frame. Now I'm gonna duplicate the frame so we can start creating the next step of the animation. In this new frame, I'm gonna delete the door, copy the half open door picture and paste it into this frame. Let's rename this frame to 2. Next, I'm gonna duplicate this frame, delete the door and rename it to 3. I'll duplicate the frame again, grab the open door picture and make it bigger and place it right in the center where the previous door was. This will create the effect of the door opening toward us. I'm gonna repeat this process in 2 more frames. Each time I'll make the door picture bigger and I'll position it perfectly in the center. I'll keep repeating this until the door is big enough to give us the illusion that we are entering the room. In the 7th frame, we need to enlarge the door picture until the empty room is fully visible. Here's what we'll do next. Copy the furnished room photo and paste it into frame 7. Grab all the room objects, furniture, wall art, plants, and position them exactly where they need to go. When working on animations like this, think backward. We already know what the end picture looks like, so we'll build a step by step to achieve it. To create a smooth transition, any object that we want to animate into the frame must exist in the previous frame as well. Great, let's get back to designing. Let's create a copy of this furnished frame and keep it as a reference. Then I make another copy to continue. First, I want to place the wall panel. In frame 7, we don't need the furniture, so let's remove them. And this final picture. Now moving on to frame 8. I'll grab these 3 furniture objects and position them for their entrance. The lamp, sofa, and wall art will slide in from the left. The chair, table, and plants will come in from the right. As you see, the objects are sitting outside the frame, but in the layer panel, they should be inside the frame. This is important because if they are not inside the frame in the layer panel, the animation won't work correctly. So I'll select all of them and drag them inside the frame. Before I forget, in frame 7, I'll shrink the wall panel. It shouldn't be visible here, but it should still be there so we can animate it later. Now I'm gonna make the furniture very small and add a bit of rotation. This will help create that nice flying into the room effect. Let's move to the next frame. I'll duplicate the current frame, then I'll copy the sofa and the lamp from the ref. Select frame 9 and paste. When I paste, they land in the exact same position as in our ref. Now that we've placed the sofa and lamp, we can delete them from this frame. Now we're gonna create the following pages and carefully place the rest of the furniture into position. In each frame, when we place the furniture into the frame, we need to delete the small one from the outside. In the next page, I'll place the wall art and place the furnished photo into the frame. This will add the nice shadows from the photo to complete the look. Now we can delete the reference frame. Next step is creating the header. Let's grab our last frame and bring it to the top so we can work on it more easily. Let's start by drawing a rectangle at the top of the frame for the header. Hit the I key to grab the eyedropper tool and fill the header with a beautiful dark blue color from the sofa. Next, head over to the asset panel, insert the logo and tagline, and place them nicely inside the header. Now I'm gonna duplicate the frame. In this new frame, I'll move the logo and tagline out of the visible area, but don't forget to make sure they stay inside the frame in the layers panel, so they're part of the animation. Then I'll make the header rectangle bigger. Going back to the previous frame, I'll delete the logo and tagline and shrink the header rectangle, pushing it out of the view. Let's duplicate the frame again. This time I'm gonna bring the logo back into the header and scale it up for a dramatic effect. In the next frame, let's add the tagline to the header. And finally, in the last frame, resize the header to its actual size. And just like that, we're ready to add some animation magic to bring our design to life. In prototype mode, let's start by selecting the first frame and connecting it to the second frame. For the interaction settings, I'm gonna choose after delay as the trigger, use smart animation with a linear curve, and set the delay and duration to 500 milliseconds. I'm gonna continue connecting frames up to the 7th frame with the same setting. Now let's create a flow for the first frame and preview what we've done so far. Let's see how it looks. The after delay transitions working for the first frame, but the rest of them aren't working. Let's figure this out. I didn't change the trigger to after delay for the other interactions. When you set up an interaction, most settings stay as you've set them up, but the trigger doesn't. You have to update that manually for each one. So let's go ahead and fix the triggers for all the frames. Now let's finish setting up the interaction for the remaining pages using the same setting. For the header animations, I'll tweak things a bit to make it more dynamic. For the first interaction, I changed the duration to 800 milliseconds with a linear curve. For the next two, let's spice it up with a bouncy curve. And for the final one, we'll smooth things out with a slow curve and a 3000 millisecond. Now let's check out the final preview. I hope you learned something new from this tutorial. If you're new here, my name is Yalda and I'll be back every week with new Figma tutorials. So please take a few seconds to subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. Until next time, elevate and create.